Hi, this is Karen from 48 Long Stems, and today we're going to show you how to make those uber luxurious pave rose bouquets you see all over reality TV. So if you have a special someone you're trying to impress, keep watching. This is how we make them. They're really super easy. The first thing you need to do is to get a vase. The important thing about the vase is the diameter. This is a 4-inch vase. The larger the diameter, the more flowers you need. I'm starting with 100 roses. I'm making 3 individual bouquets. So I'm going to budget about 30 roses per arrangement. It's usually 31 to 35 depending on how open your roses are. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 bundles of 10, so 30 I'll start with, and I'm going to pick up the first 3 to 4 roses, and I'm just going to lay them gently in my hand in a row. Then I'm going to take another 3 to 4 roses, and you'll see I'm just kind of laying them laying on top of the other roses, but just slightly above the row before it. So it's just a little more, the second row is a little more elevated than the first row. The third row will be a little more elevated than the second row. And then I'm going to trim the stems, and I'm going to measure it against the vase. But you don't want your stems to be too tall. If they're too tall like this, you'll be sitting up higher and you'll end up needing more roses to fill this vase. You want it to more or less, the bottom roses just to rest on the edge of the vase. So it's better to trim too much or not trim too much at the first point, make them a little long, and then come back in because you cannot make your roses longer if you cut them too short. So next I'm going to come in with my second bundle of 10. Again, I'm going to start with my 3 or 4 roses, in this case 4. And then I'm just going to layer the second row on top of them, again, a little more slightly elevated than the first row. And then I'm going to follow up and do the exact same thing for the third row. So I'm just going to, again, just lay them up, make them into a little bundle, trim the stems a bit down. Measure against the other ones. Again, always measure twice, cut once. So I'm going to cut them down a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect at this stage. I'm going to readjust when everything's in there. Because this is a foam-free design, you're going to see them kind of flop over a little bit. That's totally normal. That's what we're expecting in them. Again, everything will get fixed up at the end. So we're just going to kind of layer them in there. Just kind of push them in so they're just laying next to each other. Now for my third bundle of 10, I'm going to change it up a little bit. Again, I'm going to start with 3 to 4 roses, 3 in this case, and then I'm going to make the second line just slightly taller than the first row. But that third row, I'm going to start to bring down ever so slightly because this is the row that's going to be butting up right against the other side of the vase. So I want that cascading to like come down on that side. So I'm going to bring that side just a little bit lower on that last row. And again, I'm going to trim off the stems. And then I'm going to just place them gently into the vase next to the other ones, keeping the taller ones towards the other flowers and the shorter ones towards the end of the vase. Once they're kind of in a little bouquet, now I'm going to lift them all out, and now I'm going to start adjusting. So I'm just going to start pulling up flowers that might have fallen down in, and I'm just going to make that big round pave look. Now, I don't want it to be too perfect. If it's too perfect, then it looks a little weird. You want some to be slightly down, some a little bit higher than the ones next to it, so it gives it that more luxurious, professional feel. Now, don't worry if a bouquet, if you're playing with them, roses are pretty hardy flowers, but I snapped a rose right there, and you'll see me pull it out in a second. Don't worry about that. We use that later. So every rose will get used. If you break a rose, it's just now telling you that that's going to be used either for rose petals down the table or maybe as an extra rose that'll lay on a plate to make it even more luxurious. So here again, I'm just going to re-trim my stems for a final cut. Put the roses back in the bouquet and then kind of look at it. It looks pretty round, but this is where you have to turn your vase and make sure it's perfect on all the sides. So this is where I'm going to go in with 3 or 4 more additional roses to fill in any holes that I see. And I'm just going to trim them one by one based on where they need to go in the bouquet to finish off that round look that I'm going for. Again, it is important that you keep rotating your vase to make sure that it looks good from all sides. Don't be afraid to pull them out and retrim. So now you can see I have 3 pave rose bouquets, perfect for the dining table. And again, I'll use the broken rose, as you can see in the final shot. I use 2 roses, or I cut them short on for each dinner plate, and then I use some of the extra roses for rose petals that I can scatter down the table, or you can scatter in a bathtub or anywhere else that you may like. The 3 makes it a great gift. It absolutely makes a beautiful setting for a luxurious special dinner for your special someone. It also is great because when you're done with your dinner, you can easily take the roses and move them into other rooms. So you have one on the dining table, maybe one by a bedside, one in a living room, or even by the bath. But it's a way of keeping that romantic feeling alive in all the rooms of your house. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, give us a thumbs up and a like. If we can answer any questions or have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Again, this is 48 Long Stems, and thank you for watching.